Black Friday is considered to be one of the biggest days for shopping, and that's true even for small businesses. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with how they say this day of shopping is an even bigger deal for them.
Plus, what's behind the eerie glow coming from Pittsburgh streetlights? And authorities filed charges against a Frontenac substitute teacher accused of attempted sexual exploitation of a student.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The economic recovery from COVID has thrown a wrench into the supply chain, hitting businesses and then shoppers. In spite of it all, retail sales continue to rise. And the National Retail Federation says it's feeling pretty good about the holiday season. Between Thanksgiving Day and Cyber Monday this year, it expects there will be nearly 2 million more shoppers than last year. And each shopper is projected to spend about $1,000 during the holiday season. There are a couple of explanations at play. First, the fear factor. Because of supply chain issues, shoppers are getting the message: if you want it, buy it now. And 46% of shoppers say they plan to shop earlier than normal. Economists say another reason people are spending is because they can.
Consumers are very healthy. They've got $4 trillion in savings on the sidelines. They've paid down debt. We've seen $5 trillion of fiscal stimulus.
The National Retail Federation says it could be well into next year before issues with supply chain are ironed out. Today, it wasn't just big box stores benefiting from the post-holiday shopping. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with 2 Joplin businesses about the work they put in to attract customers.
It's one of the busiest shopping days of the year.
I mean, it's called Black Friday for a reason. It's kind of the day that it just brings everything together as far as it kind of tops off the end of the year.
While Black Friday usually has shoppers lining up at larger retailers, local Joplin businesses like Sophie Boutique were almost just as popular.
It's definitely one of our best months of the year. So yeah, I mean, a lot of small businesses of all kinds count on the holiday season to kind of wrap up the year on a high note.
It's a similar story at GameCo, which just moved to a new location. Their owner, J.C. Bird, says they were unsure how turnout would be, but says the amount of people they saw come in shows the importance of supporting small local stores.
We want you to shop local, stay here in town, don't spend your money online, come and see us for anything that we can get for you here local. It's very important for us to. Brick and mortar is hard to do.
What really helps out smaller businesses on big shopping days like Black Friday is having loyal customers.
We have a lot of new customers too, but we really try and really nurture those relationships with our customers to where they want to come shop with us, they want to support us, and so that is the most important thing, to be completely honest.
And although small businesses were unsure what another Black Friday would hold,
we didn't really know exactly what it's going to be like. We're kind of, just treading the waters to see if we're coming back to a sense of normalcy.
They say it was great to be back and seeing everyone again.
It's always a great time, and I love just seeing all the customers and the familiar faces and the new faces. Like, it's fun to work this weekend.
In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
For anyone still looking to go shopping, tomorrow is Small Business Saturday, and a lot of 4-state businesses will participate. If you've driven around Pittsburgh after dark lately, you've probably noticed that something's off with the street lights. They're purple or maybe blue. The color isn't important. What is, they're not supposed to be that way. An Avergy spokesperson tells us it's a manufacturing defect, and it's not just affecting Pittsburgh. Other Kansas towns like Manhattan and Lawrence are dealing with it too. The manufacturer is sending Avergy new lights, and Avergy is working on replacing them. Though bigger towns with bigger problems like Wichita are getting the fixed lights before towns like Pittsburgh. It's been a nice day out there weather-wise. Nick Kelly.
Yeah, once we had to get past actually a cold start this morning, Dell. Yeah, the afternoon as bright as can be, and thankfully with a good south breeze, the numbers responded nicely. We went from 22 this morning, but we soared to 57 degrees this afternoon. Not bad for this Black Friday this time around. All made all the better with Still, clear skies in place. Maybe a little cloud cover out in Nebraska will try to sneak in, but not until the very overnight hours, and I'm even thinking by sunrise. So overall, we're looking quiet as we go throughout the rest of the night. Temperatures are still trying to hold on, mainly lower to middle 40s across the region, but the breeze has calmed down as long as it's out of the south. We're not going to deal with 20s for lows tonight, thankfully. We'll only drop back near 40 in the morning, but even with that breeze still in place, a little lighter compared to today, even with partly sunny skies, we'll see highs back in the 60s for tomorrow, Dell. We'll break down the rest of the weekend and then look at the week ahead here in a bit.
See you then. Authorities file a sex crime charge against a former substitute teacher for the Frontenac and Girard, Kansas school districts. The suspect is 39-year-old Ross McCullough of Frontenac. Prosecutors say he asked an underage Frontenac student to engage in sexually explicit conduct by mobile phone. They have charged him with attempted sexual exploitation of a child. The U.S. joined the European Union and several other countries in placing travel restrictions on visitors from southern Africa. That's after a concerning new COVID variant was detected near Johannesburg, South Africa, and it appears to be spreading. Natalie Brand has more.
We're going to be cautious.
Speaking in Nantucket, President Biden said he and his COVID response team have decided to restrict visitors from South Africa and 7 other countries in the region starting Monday in hopes of trying to contain a troubling new coronavirus variant. It's still unclear whether the new variant causes more severe illness or how protective the existing vaccines are against it.
We don't know a lot about the variant except that it is a great concern. It seems to spread rapidly.
The World Health Organization is calling the new variant Omicron and labeling it a highly transmissible variant of concern.
So the big concerns are, one, that it's highly transmissible, and second, that it will be partially resistant or will escape the ability of vaccines to protect.
Moderna and Pfizer say they believe they can adjust their vaccines as needed. Johnson & Johnson says it's already testing its vaccine's effectiveness against the variant. With travel restrictions set to kick in, international visitors are scrambling to get home.
I think we have to take some lessons learned that travel restrictions have not been very effective throughout this whole pandemic.
In addition to the U.S., countries in Europe and Asia have already imposed travel restrictions from southern African countries. Natalie Brent, CBS News, Washington.
The WHO says early evidence suggests a greater risk of reinfection compared with other highly transmissible variants. Still ahead, no water required. We're going to tell you how you can ice skate in the middle of Carthage. And later, board the buses. The Frontenac Raiders are heading off to state. Now that Thanksgiving's over, it's officially the Christmas season. Time to grab some cocoa, watch The Grinch, and if you're in the mood to visit Carthage, you can ice skate. We sent KOAM photojournalist Daniel Camp to check out the fun.
So we wanted to create something that would just be a family holiday event for everybody. Now it is synthetic, so that is different than an actual ice rink. So you put a solution on the top of it and it makes it slick, and then you can skate with regular ice skates.
It's fun, but I was expecting it to be real ice.
We just love our downtown square. We find it to be very charming and unique, and something that is not found in other surrounding communities.
There's a lot of fun stuff to do, and the ice skating room's easy to get to.
Because Carthage is like a small town, so they don't have a lot, but they have traditions like these.
I love the memories that it provides for families. There's really nothing like it around here, so you've got to drive quite a distance to be able to enjoy something like this. So I'm excited to be able to provide it for the community.
You can learn more about the Carthage skating rink on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Some unique items are up for sale at the Christmas Extravaganza in Columbus, Kansas. It was held in the 4-H building. Vendors and crafters set up a booth to sell a variety of things, many suitable for Christmas gifts.
We're putting on a craft show that we've done the last 10 years, and I just started up because there wasn't very many events around here, and to help the local businesses out and everything.
This was the 10th annual Christmas extravaganza at the 4-H building in Columbus. Later, it's the bye week for the Kansas City Chiefs, but for the voice of the Chiefs, there are no off weeks. We're going to have this week's Minute with Mitch coming up in sports.
Plus, something unusual for late November and even early December. A mild stretch of days ahead of us. We'll break those numbers down when we come back. Well, as advertised, we definitely turned quite a bit colder for Thanksgiving and even for our Black Friday today, on the heels of our last front that brought rain and storms back on Wednesday. But we've been keeping things nice and quiet for the past few days, and we're still looking quiet from indigo sky outside of Seneca, Missouri, even though the parking lot's a little bit active, but you can't say the same for the nice and quiet skies up top. As far as the numbers go, we had midnight highs around 50 on our Thanksgiving before temperatures eventually rebounded into the mid-40s for yesterday afternoon. Look at that cold start this morning, though. Lower to middle 20s across the entire region, but with a good south breeze kicking into gear along with plenty of sunshine, we had no problem warming back up to 57 and jumping. In fact, most of us in the mid to upper 50s today. We're going to keep at it mainly a mild stretch for the next several days. Again, something we rarely say as we wrap up November and head into December. For now, though, 7th range line, we're quiet up top, and we're still trying to hold on to temperatures around 48 degrees with that south wind at 16. It is adding a bit of a chill to the air, though, unfortunately, making it feel like 42 degrees outside. So definitely something to keep in mind if you're still going to be out and about late tonight. But at least the temperatures are fairly consistent in most spots in the mid and even some upper 40s, and they're still trying to hold on because of a south breeze still in place. Granted, earlier today we had sustained winds of 10 to 20, gusts trying to push near 30 at times, but we have lightened up on that breeze, mainly 5 to 15 miles per hour. But eventually this breeze is going to die down a little bit overnight, along with clear skies up top and clear skies for the entire 4-state region for that matter. Thankfully, though, with the south breeze, we're only going to drop back near 40 before we see maybe a little monkey wrench from our way with this next cold front coming out of Canada. We'll see how that impacts the weekend here in a bit. But overall, you saw not much to the surface setup and no big systems in the upper levels coming our way soon. So it's a good indication. It's going to stay nice and quiet as we go through the rest of this weekend. Here's your future track forecast. I'm trying to bring in a little bit of cloud cover, mainly high cloud cover from the north as we head closer to sunrise. But even then, that south breeze means we only drop back near 40, a heck of a lot better than the 20s we started this morning with. But partly to mostly sunny skies and more of a westerly breeze tomorrow afternoon won't stop us from turning quite a bit milder. In fact, we'll go from 40 in the morning, 56 by noon, and the high is 62 degrees. That's not bad. And look at the wind. It's not going to be quite up there compared to what we saw today. Going throughout the course of Saturday evening and Saturday night, though, you see that northerly wind kicking in. That's that next cold front quickly racing through, but not a lot of moisture with it. Maybe partly sunny skies for Sunday, a cold start, but then only dropping back into the 50s. I think that's the only day with highs in the 50s I have on the board, because with this jet stream pretty much staying on top of us, if not lifting back north and east, and no big waves, we're quiet for a good portion of next week with highs maybe pushing near 70 by Thursday. Sticking with what Doug said the other night, though, once we hit Friday, late Friday going into Saturday, that's when we'll have our next best system with better moisture on the way, and that's going to really start to change things up as we go into next weekend. But we got plenty of time to watch that. Let's just enjoy this quiet stretch. 62 tomorrow, 52 Sunday, mid-60s Monday and Tuesday down, and again, maybe pushing 70 by Thursday.
Wow, nice stretch for all those shoppers.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, Frontenac Raiders hit the road to Hutchinson for the 3A state championship game. And the Missouri Southern women aim for back-to-back wins at home tomorrow afternoon. We're going to hear from the team up next.
The Frontenac Raiders are less than 24 hours away from playing for a state championship. The Frontenac faces Andale tomorrow in the 3A title game in Hutchinson. Now today, the Frontenac community came out to send the team off as they hit the road to Hutch. Now the Raiders got here by taking down undefeated Holton in the state semifinals 32-13 last week. They have another undefeated team ahead of them in Andale, but after a week of practice, Frontenac is ready to get to Hutchinson and try to finish this thing off.
I'm confident. Coach has put in a good game plan. we've had a very good week of practice and just looking forward to the game.
We've been practicing all week on defense, offense, so I think we got a good game plan for this Saturday, so I'm feeling good about it. We're playing our best football right now. We know Andale has a tremendous program, but we're excited to just give it our best shot and see what happens.
It'd mean everything to me. Just going out there, we got one more game left as seniors, so might as well go win it.
Frontenac not the only big game on the schedule on Saturday. Both Lamar and Webb City playing state semifinal games at home tomorrow afternoon. Lamar, sitting at 12-0, hosts Richmond, while Webb City aims to knock off undefeated Jackson, earn a spot in the Class 5 state championship. And both of those games begin at 1 o'clock. We'll have highlights from all of them right here tomorrow night at 6. Well, today is the final day of the regular season for the Kansas State Wildcats. K-State hits the road to Texas this afternoon, facing the Longhorns in the final game on their schedule. The Wildcats 4-4 in league play, trying to finish over 500 in the Big 12. In the first quarter, Roshan Johnson takes the direct snap, gets in for the 9-yard score. Texas up 7 early. Other end, K-State showing off their ground game as well. That's Deuce Vaughn. 9-yard score. We're all tied up at 7. Cats back down 13-7. Till this, Will Howard finds a hole, takes off down the sideline. The defender closes on him, but he does make it across the goal line. K-State now with a 1-point lead, but fourth quarter, Texas back in front 22-17. K-State with one last chance after the 8-yard gain. Try to get back to the line and spike it to stop the clock, but check it out. Ran out of time. That's it. That's the ball game. K-State falls to Texas in their season finale, 22-17. In the SEC, Mizzou on the road against 25th ranked Arkansas in the final game of the regular season. Razorbacks double up the Tigers 34-17. Their first win against Mizzou since 2015. Arkansas finishes the season 8-4 overall. The Kansas City Chiefs have won 4 games in a row to get to 7-4 this season. The Chiefs have a bye this week before returning to action on December 5th against the Broncos. Even though they're on a bye, like every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
This week is the Chiefs' bye week. It's also the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. It's always good to have some conversation icebreakers at the Thanksgiving table. Okay, I'll start. Who are the best players to ever play for the Chiefs that weren't even drafted? The play of running back Darrell Williams got me thinking about this. Williams has had a huge impact for this team this year and wasn't even drafted. He had a record-setting performance against the Raiders a couple weeks ago. But also consider the Chiefs Ring of Honor members running back Priest Holmes and guard Brian Waters weren't drafted either. But the all-timer is cornerback Emmett Thomas, a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame who had 58 career interceptions and helped win Super Bowl IV. He was undrafted out of Bishop College in Dallas. It doesn't even exist anymore. On this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
The Missouri Southern women's basketball team will be back on the floor at home tomorrow afternoon. The Lions faced Oklahoma Panhandle State in their last non-conference game before MIAA play begins next Thursday. Southern is 1-2 so far this season. Last time out, they picked up their first win on the road, beating Missouri S&T 74-50. Now, in that game, they forced 25 turnovers and were able to push the pace. Both things head coach Ronnie Russell wants to see every time out.
We've been very aggressive offensively. You look at our possessions from a year ago to how many possessions we're getting this year. We're probably up 10 to 12 possessions per game, which is huge, which allows us to get more opportunities to score the basketball. And then we're creating a few more turnovers than we did a year ago, being a little more aggressive defensively as well. So that's a big positive for us that we like about how we're playing.
The Kansas Jayhawks 4-0, ranked 4th in the nation, facing Dayton today. Look at this, on the break, Christian Brown getting up and putting it down over the defender. Check it out again. Off the pass from DeJuan Harris. Kansas up 15. Second half, though, just a 3-point game. Elijah Weaver takes the pass, knocks down the 3. Dayton opens the second half with a 12-4 run. Under 10 seconds left. KU up 1. Craziness right here, man. Blocked shot. Mustafa Amzil rebounds. Check it out. High floater. That doesn't go in Allen Fieldhouse, man, but it does go down here. Game winner for Dayton. Flyers hand the Jayhawks their first loss, 74-73. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
We want to recognize a local veteran of the U.S. Air Force. Staff Sergeant Dale Lenz served from 1967 to 1977. Moran, Kansas native, was stationed in the Philippines, and we're proud to salute Staff Sergeant Dale Lenz, a four-state hero. Missouri man aimed for $1 million and hit it. Not $1 million. Jim O'Shea's Volvo 740 GLE has reached 1 million miles. Jim replaced the engine at 538,000 miles, replaced the transmission a couple of times. Looking back, Jim remembers catching heat from his dad for buying that car in the first place.
My dad, his brother was running a Ford dealer, and he said, you can only buy Fords. So I brought this home, and he didn't talk to me for a while. And I said to him, I guarantee I will get 1 million miles out of this car. And I did.
So what happens to the odometer on this car after 1 million miles? Well, starts over. So the odometer on this 30-year-old car now says 1 mile. How about that? He says the car is very simple to work on, and that is the key. They made them a lot simpler in those days, and basically, you go in, you change some plugs, some filters, some
Yeah, and I think the Volvos back then were built pretty tough, too.
Apparently so. Weather looking nice this weekend.
Yeah, well, it'll only drop back near 40 tonight, thankfully, but 62 tomorrow, 52 Sunday. We're dry for the rest of the weekend.
Final sports note.
Busy sports day tomorrow. Frontenac obviously playing for a state championship. Webb City, Lamar in the state semifinals. Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball both at home, plus Oklahoma and Oklahoma State play. We'll have all that covered right here tomorrow night.
Busy day for the sports team. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great weekend.